Oh, I'm sorry, you're all set. Okay, let's see, this is Publishers Parkway Senior Housing Project. This is, applicant is Taylor the Builders, and they're requesting a sketch plan review and a referral to the town board regarding consideration of a PDD for the construction of 194 senior housing units in a combination of 2 large 4-story buildings and 84 2-bedroom townhouses with an associated clubhouse and a pool, and this is on 24.6 acres of land on their designated parcel number. This is located in an OP core area, North Office Park District, under 225-19-1 and 228-21A of the Code of the Town of Webster. Again, this is here for just a review and a referral to the town board.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. My name is Jess Sudol with Pastoral Associates here this evening on behalf of Taylor the Builders. We're revisiting a project that originally received both the PDD approval as well as preliminary and final site plan approval approximately 5 years ago. So it's a variation of that, but a smaller project. Back in 2014, 2015, for these, those board members that were still here, you should recall this project. But at that time, there was several other senior housing projects that were being constructed, namely Marquise at the Woods and VOA project here across the street. There's another one on Holt Road. And at the time, the market was a little bit saturated with senior housing. So this project, although it received all of its approvals, didn't move forward with construction. So it sat idle for several years. We filed for several extensions. Recently, approximately 5 acres on the southeastern portion of the site were sold off to U of R to construct a facility which I believe this board has already reviewed and approved. So what we've done is we've revised the plan and we've made the footprint significantly smaller than what this board and the town board previously approved. And the reason why, there's several reasons why we did that. First, by eliminating units and by condensing the overall development area, we're allowed to significantly increase the buffering along Route 104. The neighbors, although there are no single-family neighbors, but the town staff and the planning board, 5 years ago or so, had expressed a lot of concern about, maintaining that buffered screening along 104. And the plan that was approved had a setback in that area of approximately 75 feet. By modifying the design, we've been able to really suck that in and more than double that buffer to now it's approximately 160 feet. So almost 100 feet more of buffer existing vegetation that will not be impacted, which we think is a drastic improvement over the previously approved plan. One of the ways that we did accomplish that is by going from a very large 3-story building to 2 smaller 4-story buildings. The previously approved plan, you kind of see that like weird L thing that's in the middle of the old plan. That was a 3-story building that contained a lot more units. I forget what the exact count was, and had a bigger footprint and really resulted in some more sprawl and a spread out design. By going with 4 stories, we're able to, again, suck everything in and increase the buffering on all sides of the project. The 4 stories is not unique to the area. The Hampton Inn that's right across the street from this parcel is also 4 stories, as is the Holiday Inn Express and other buildings in town. We are providing the 360-degree access for fire lanes that is required. Quite frankly, the 4-story construction, because it is more environmentally friendly, less rooftop, has become pretty popular in a lot of different communities in Western New York and other places, and certainly has had a very effective job, or done an effective job here of creating all that additional screening. It also allowed us to significantly increase the amount of buffering off of Publishers Parkway. If you look at the old drawing, we have 2 units there that are really backed right up to Publishers Parkway. With this design, we're able to eliminate those units and create a significant buffer. So the first units that you see, which would actually be the clubhouse when you're driving in from Publishers, are well over 150 set into the project. So really, both from the north and the south, we're over 150 feet till you start seeing any buildings. And then also from Hard Road, because we now have that commercial property separating us, we're very much isolated in the back there, again, in a much smaller development than we previously were.
Jess, hold on 1 second. Could you folks, you guys online there, could you mute your phones? You're making terrific static. Somebody has their phone open and it's making all kinds of noise. thanks. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
We are aware that, there are height limitations associated with the multifamily use, as well as building size limitations in the multifamily use in the OP district. But there's also a provision in that district that the town board has the authority to modify any of those dimensional requirements. So when we do have these, should we move forward past this board, we would be requesting that the town board, acknowledge those deviations from the code limitations, based on, our unique set of circumstances here, being really not near any single-family homes, not impacting any adjacent users, with the 4 stories really allowing us to increase that buffering, we think is a acceptable, justification for what we're asking for. And in fact, we're doing it, for those very same reasons. With that, I don't know how much you want to cover. If you look at the previous plan, you can see that a lot of the way in which it's developed is similar. Again, it's just we, cut off the whole southeastern half, and then we really pulled it in tighter to, not have so much disturbance on the southern part of it, so that we won't be visible from 104. And certainly the trees and the vegetation there is such that whether it's 3 stories or 4 stories or 2 stories, it's not going to be visible when you're going down 104.
Mr. Sudan, so you're asking the board to make a referral to the town for?
That's what they're here for.
Yeah, in accordance with the OP district, it specifically says that we must first appear, any special use permit granted in the OP district has a special code revision that requires us to appear before the town board, specifically before we come before the planning board for a sketch plan review.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that several months ago.
Right.
We've kind of bookended both sides of the COVID situation. And now we're here asking this board for a referral back to the town board, at which point we would be, asking for the Progressive Development Overlay District. And then should they find it in their purview to grant that, we would have to come back to this board for the site plan review process for both preliminary and final review. So we're still kind of getting started with this one, and we recognize that there's a lengthy process ahead of us. But we certainly did deal with a lot of the potential environmental impacts the first time around, and now with us reducing our footprint, increasing green spaces, decreasing density, we certainly anticipate that those environmental impacts, which were previously received a negative declaration, would once again. But we fully anticipate providing all the backup information for this board and others to come to that conclusion on your own, should you find it appropriate.
Now, you're saying somewhere in the code where the town board could modify this even further?
He's correct.
Mm-hmm.
My question.
To what point? I don't
my question
understand.
was, you're asking the board to give a referral based upon the construction of 194 senior housing units in a combination of the 2 large 4-story buildings and 84 2-bedroom townhouses with an associated clubhouse and pool on a 24.6-acre parcel. That's
Yeah.
the referral you're asking us to make?
Yeah.
Right, so in that, Mr. Chairman, in the OP district, it talks about single family, then talks about multifamily, then talks about like townhomes, I believe. But then underneath all that says the town board may modify any dimensional requirements to accommodate senior housing facilities when issuing the special use permit.
Maximum density, okay, does that include 4-story building? Because again, in the OP, it says no more than 2 stories.
Right, so the 2 stories is in the same list as the buffer areas, the minimum lot size, maximum building length, density, setbacks, etc., all which are the dimensional requirements. And then if you go a little bit further down, then where you just saw the reference to the density, it says the town board may modify any dimensional requirements to accommodate senior housing facilities when issuing the special use permit. And of course, the special use permit is specifically associated with the establishment of the overlay district.
So I guess my point, this is a major dense project, number one. Number two, PRC comments were, there was a lot of concern with the traffic, number one. With the sewer department had a comment, if I recall, that sewer is almost at max right now for capacity in that area. And my feeling is with something like this coming in this size, they'll go to the town board and there'll be a referral if they so choose. But why would they want to modify this to allow this much development? I guess I don't understand that. Across the street from a school.
My response to that would be that the town board previously approved a larger and denser version of this.
But that's before all these other ones went in though, Jess.
Well, this one, we did most of them, if not all of them.
Yeah.
And this was the last one, so Marquise at the Wood had already been approved, the Confer project had already been approved, and this was the last one to come in. And again, there was some concern about, well, what are we gonna do with all this senior housing? Again, that's 5 years ago. All of those projects are now at 100% occupancy. The demand for senior housing has really increased again. Again, when it comes to
But
traffic.
is it? How do you know this?
Well, because we inquire with those existing facilities on their current rent rates.
Then my suggestion to the town board would be that they request, same as what we do with traffic studies, which you'd have to do with this anyways, but doing a study, independent study from an outside concern, not by this organization, to come up with some numbers to show where there is a need for more senior housing. This amount. That would have to be something I think the town board should, I think it would be the town board's function to ask for that, right? Not ours.
You can't grant,
That's what I'm saying.
you can't grant a variance to the,
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm
DOT
saying
core,
is
so-
for the town board to request this, not us.
correct.
You could recommend it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I just said, yeah.
Well, and the reason I read that into the record, Tony, was, you know, as a board, you guys can refer it to the town board and give your thoughts.
That's what that's what we're doing. That's what I want to
You know,
do.
decide that you don't agree with the application of 194 units.
Correct.
You agree to something less, but
Yeah.
I think that's within your purview.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's requesting.
A market study is certainly a fair request, and I don't object to
Yeah,
that.
no, I think that's something that needs to be done by a firm.
One thing that's, worked out really well, I believe, back when we were doing this project, and we did them all kind of in succession, there was a lot going on in this area, and there was a lot of unknowns, and there was this giant coordination item of this light at Hard Road and Publishers, and who's gonna put it in, who's gonna pay for what. I haven't even mentioned all the CDS projects that have gone in.
Yeah.
But now that's all been built, it's constructed, the transition of the road from state to, I believe, county has all happened, is all functioning, and, that was actually a really big unknown back then that's, worked out well, I believe.
See, the other thing is too, now, let's say the project gets going and it's halfway and it sits there and it's not being occupied by seniors, then where does the cookie become the pickle here? In other words, where does this thing turn over and become, well, we can't do it, so let's move a bunch of families in here with kids and make a development out of it?
Well, we're not allowed, based on.
Well, you're not allowed, but yeah, if with a hardship, it would end up happening.
Well, we're confident we're building a product that's very specific to seniors, and by that I mean it's one bedrooms. It's built for single seniors or maybe a few couples. I mean, the amenities, everything about the project is very much designed to accommodate seniors. We're very comfortable with the demand based on the success of the surrounding projects.
What's considered seniors today in a house, in a project like this? At 50, 55, or
It's 55 and up is the code,
55?
which
Yeah.
is not our arbitrary.
Let's
number.
open it to these guys. Any fellows out there, anybody have any comments on this?
And the rest of the board received the.
I can't, first of all, tell me, I can't tell who's talking. Say it. Who is it?
Mark, you're really muffled.
I know, he's terrible with that thing.
Talking into a sock?
You,
No, I'm talking into my radio.
that thing isn't,
Okay.
there you go. Try that.
The question I was going to ask you, the question I was going to ask the board, did you receive a comment from the Sports Association of Webster regarding this project?
Yes, yeah, they had concerns because of the sports facilities and the schools and the lights and so on, yes.
Okay.
That would be one of the concerns.
I'd like to see that included in the minutes if we could.
Yeah, that would be in the record, yes. Yeah, okay.
I'm not a huge fan of the 4-story buildings, that just seems like they're out of place there.
I'm in agreement. Anybody, Derek?
I get they have a smaller footprint, and I appreciate that, but they're gonna stick out like a sore thumb.
Smaller footprint, but I think there's more units in here.
No, there's less units.
Less
and
units?
Again, those buildings are, over almost 1,000 feet from Publishers and Hard Road. I'd be happy to do a line of sight study to show the difference between a 3-story versus a 4. But another reason why we do that or do this in senior projects is if we were to go to a 3-story building, it would get longer and it would have L's in order to conform with the 165 or 250 foot requirements. And what you get with seniors is longer travel distances walking through the corridors when they use the elevators to get to their unit. By going to 4, and I really don't think it's going to have any visual impact, and again, we're happy to provide studies as needed, but it's much more accommodating for seniors, in addition to being able to, have more green space and, I know I've said 6 times already, but really dramatically increase the size of the buffering on 104.
See, looking at the drawing, I don't see a whole lot of green space, open space here. Not a lot of,
Well, it might be a lot of rendering is, you can see where a lot of the trees are and the different greens and the browns. There's a large central active recreation area kind of in the top quadrant. And then the bottom quadrant, we really, again, pulled it in to provide all that open space and green space on the south.
I think attention to,
Just on the multiple family dwelling, maximum building length of 165, except where applicant provides paved accessibility on all sides of the building. You have 2 parking garages on the ends, so I don't know how that makes it accessible.
Well, I believe we're only 165 currently. The old one was longer.
Oh, the old one, I have one from 221, 2000.
What's the length of the building in there?
These are 250
Oh, 250? Okay. Well, we could.
by 70 foot.
We provided fire lanes and fire station areas on each side. We could remove or relocate those garages.
As I say, you might want to talk to the fire marshal about giving them access onto 2 ends.
Yeah, and like I said, the 4-story, there's precedent for 4-story in this area. There's a Hampton Inn that you can literally see on the rendering. And actually with the cornice that's on that Hampton Inn, which is quite large, is significantly taller than what we would be proposing.
Just another clarification, you advertised as 84 2-bedroom townhomes? Is that
Yeah,
true?
the 2-bedroom are in the townhomes and mostly ones in the
This drawing shows 4 units, that's why I'm asking.
4 units.
It says proposed 4-unit townhomes.
Oh, there's 4 individual townhome units in that block.
So are they 2 units or 4 units?
These are 4-unit townhomes. There's 4
Okay, they
units.
are 4, all right. Gotcha.
so these, well, what am I missing here now? These are all 4 units all the way around the perimeter there?
Yes, sir.
They're all 4 unit?
Yep.
See, and the other thing, if you're doing this kind of a development in the past, what we've done with, like Railroad Crossing, where we've put, and also with Tom Thomas over on Salt Road,
Right,
where we've made them duplexes, still townhouse, but they're 2 units as opposed to 4. These are all rentals, correct?
Yes, sir.
See, they're all rentals, that make it a little different.
Yeah, I think Tom Thomas, when he did those patio homes, weren't they for sale, fee simple lots?
yes.
Yeah, they're double units, basically, is what we ended up doing with that. Because for sale units, you put 4 of them, everybody wants an end
Right.
unit, and then
No
the
one
second
wants
one
to
sit there, and the next thing you know, somebody buys one end, somebody buys the other end, the other ones don't sell, they end up renting them, and you got a mess. So I try my part to avoid that kind of development. But this being all rentals, it's a little bit different story.
Yeah, like I said, it's not much of a deviation from the unit types that were previously approved.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled about 4-story. I don't think there's any reason the town board should even consider 4 stories.
May I ask, if you don't mind, what the concern with 4 stories is?
Well, number one, that's higher than the school across the street. 4 stories, so, we don't want, you want to keep it residential looking to a point, not like a major complex, which is what it would be. I can go in the city and find developments, 4 or 5 stories. I don't think we need to go that direction with it.
Well, I'd be happy to provide those line of sight studies from Hard Road and from Publishers Parkway to really show, we'll create this whole thing in a 3D model, so
Well, yeah, okay.
you can see the difference.
If you put 2 stories down underground, and we'll only see 2, that'll look good. That would do it. The traffic is a big issue.
Yeah, with the traffic, we have the traffic.
No, that's all got to be addressed. This is stuff I want to,
Yeah.
want the town board to be aware of. And I think attention should be given to the sewers, because that was a comment that came up at the PRC. The sewers are maxed out now in that area with all the development that has gone on since this project. So now, do we really need another project this magnitude in there? So that's going to be the question.
Tony,
Yes, sir.
this is John Coles. I have a question.
Go ahead.
When this was approved about 5 years ago or whatever, one of the conditions was that they had to build a right-hand turn lane on Publishers Parkway down to Howard Road. Is this something that they would do? Would he be grandfathered in?
Well, there wouldn't be anything grandfathered. It's a whole new proposal. Oh, you're talking about at the corner of Howard and Publishers Parkway. Yeah, I got you now.
Yeah, they were going to have to build a right-hand turn lane from their street exiting onto Publishers Parkway down to Howard Road.
Yeah, that's down the road, John, but yeah, that's a good point.
That was done as part of the Winding Woods project.
It is?
Yeah, they added a center turn lane to.
Well,
It's not there yet, though.
I don't know how much you guys want to rehash it, but there was the 4 or 5 projects going on. There was Marquista Woods, there was this, there was Winding Creek,
Yeah.
and there was CDS. And everybody said there's a problem with this intersection. So there ended up being a big sharing of infrastructure. This
Correct.
project did this project did that, this project did this. And it was all done, this project was specifically set up so that if it was constructed after it got approved, which it could have been constructed in 2015, and we got there before they put the light in, that right-hand turn lane, the additional accommodation for the right-hand turns here would have allowed cars waiting to turn left to still be able to escape right, especially coming from the school. And that condition's a little bit different now having a light, but of course it's something we would study as part of the traffic study.
I think part of the issue there at that intersection, if I recall right, is that part of that is the road would have had to go over onto Mirashow's property. And I don't believe they were willing to let that piece go. I think there was something to that. Huh?
We had it designed and figured out.
Yeah,
So
I
if
thought
it's still warranted.
We met with the people from Mirashow Management, and they were okay with it, but.
Yeah, we met with them several times. They're
Okay, so then
great people.
That's something new then, okay. All right, but anyways, those are the issues. Okay, John, that's a good point. Intersection. Okay, anything else? Derek, anybody?
So I was part of the board when this first got approved or reviewed. So this is, you guys split your property up and U of R is getting some of it, right?
Yes, the first time it was approved, it had the senior living on the entire parcel. We cut off the southeast corner and the units associated with it, and that property was then sold to U of R, who's moving forward with their development. And I'm not doing that, so I don't know where exactly it stands. So now we're coming back in with a new proposal with the lands that are remaining, with less density because we gave away a bunch of our land.
So how many units originally were proposed and approved?
210.
210,
And now what is it?
194.
Okay, that's not a huge difference in my opinion.
No, it's almost
If
the
you
same.
look at density,
But it's
on-
6.9
it's on a
units an acre, now we're at 8 units an acre.
I think is it on the smaller parcel of land though now, too?
Correct, that's what I'm saying, based on the
Yeah.
age.
You know,
That's my
in
point.
other words, we're jamming as many units on less property.
Well, I would say, although the town tends to use as a standard for density, which is in their medium density housing district, it's, 8 units per acre, which is pretty typical, and we've stayed at or under that, so, And we do a lot of projects that are 10, 12, 11, in Perrington, in Penfield, in Greece. Not that that matters, but.
Well, okay, anybody else, any other comments from you fellas? None? All right, then what we'll do is we'll have to send a letter, draft it, send it to the town board. Again, my concerns would be the sewers, the traffic. I'm totally opposed to 4 stories. And then John's comment regarding the intersection, and there'll be a bunch of others, engineering and so on and so forth. But these are just my main concerns with the project itself.
Mr. Jack, I'm also concerned with the 4 units per structure.
Well, what do you guys think?
I get the rental thing, but at some point, I like the doubles that we did on Salt Road.
Yeah, okay, I'm in agreement with you there, Derek.
Even if they're getting rented.
Yeah, it looks more residential.
Taylor built the Hatch Road project that's kind of right off Ridge Road that backs up to the commercial site for Mr. Landers, which has a lot of, same type of project, has almost all 4 units, and they saw no discrepancy between the end units and the units inside.
Yeah.
I get that under a fee simple project, yes, there's certainly that issue, we've seen it before, but it doesn't mirror itself over to the rental market, in our experience.
What did I say I wanted on their study? Need for number of units. Okay. I'm just scribbling stuff down while I'm going here. All right, I guess that's all we can cover with this. There are some issues with the project as far as sewers. That to me is a big issue. The sewers probably would have carried the original project when, 5 years ago when it was approved. But since then, all these other projects have entered into it, which is probably limiting the amount of capacity of those sewer lines now. So I think that was the concern of the sewer department. So that would have to be studied too. Okay.
Yeah, we're engineers, we love studying sewers, so.
That's all I guess we can do with it. You folks, you guys are all set with this?
I agree with what you said.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
I don't want to put you guys on the spot, and I know you kind of did on a previous application, but if we were in between 4 stories in the current configuration or a 3-story option that pushed the development south and we, lost that 100-foot of additional buffering, does it sound like this board would prefer the bigger development area and less buffering to go to 3 instead of 4?
Well, you don't want to ask me, because my opinion, they should be duplexes, number 1. They shouldn't be any more than 2 stories high, and that's a major dense project. There isn't a space, you got a little bit of open space around it, but they're just bunched up. There's nothing in there, you couldn't even put a bocce court in this thing.
We're not going to agree, so I won't say anything.
It's pretty, it's tight. It's developed to the max. All right, anyways, you gotta go to the town board, see where they go with it.
Yep.
They'll just refer it back to us or whatever. I may even go to that meeting. All right, I guess we're good.
All right, thank you, everybody, and appreciate the accommodations to keep business going.
Okay,
Good night.
Good night.
take care now.